MTN SME Hub. Link to growth. Link to success. Link to the ultimate resource for business advice and insights.
Welcome to the Big Small Business Show, the show for all our entrepreneurs out there who are building their businesses, building a legacy, building a life, actually, as an entrepreneur. In studio with us today, we've got Salim Essack. He is the founder of Leanbiz Consulting. Let's take a look.
Leanbiz Consulting, we're really trying to get our African manufacturers to achieve world-class levels of productivity and efficiency. The first 7 years of my career, I was an engineering manager, a very large, fast-moving consumer goods company. And it was there that I got my hands dirty and I got a very intimate understanding of manufacturing. And I heard about this concept, right, which is lean manufacturing. So lean manufacturing it's a Japanese methodology developed by Toyota, and it really is all about continuous improvement and with the goal of reducing all forms of waste. It became synonymous and was copied the world over with what's regarded as world-class. So very often multinationals, for instance, they have their own inbuilt systems. They might have their own industrial engineers. They have their own lean programs. But if you're talking about homegrown South African companies, they often don't have that level of resource or maturity. There are 3 products and services that we offer. Our warehousing and factories. We build them, design them, construct them. What we're really excited about in terms of our growth is actually our other 2 products, which is our lean manufacturing program, which is called Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap is where we teach our customers how to perform lean. And we've spent 10 years developing and finding the secret sauce on how do we manage to take a lean concept, which is something that is done in Western countries, in advanced economies like Japan. But how do you get that to work in the African context? So our software products, there are 2 of them. My partner in England, Stuart Walker, and I are co-founders of Live Factory and Skyview. Live Factory monitors production lines. We can see how many units it's produced against the target, and we get to see the stoppages. With Skyview, we're trying to create a responsive work environment. Imagine you can see all your production orders, you can see where we are in the production process, you can see where the delays are in that process, what's on time, what's late. But if something is delayed, what you really want to know is what's the holdup, and is someone taking accountability and responsibility for doing something about it? The other thing that makes us different is none of the other companies out there who provide software services in this area provide the consulting to go with it. When it comes to Skyview and Live Factory, were developed during the COVID period, right? So it's only about 5 years old. But in that time, we've managed to get 4 large manufacturers as clients. 2 of them are multinationals, and 2 of them are pharmaceutical companies. So in order to kind of first acquire those clients, it was interesting. I already had a relationship with them, and that helped a lot because they already understood that I was an expert in lean manufacturing. In South Africa, typically if you got a factory manager or that kind of level or lower than executive, there's a resistance to change. There's a feeling of, we've been doing this for the last 40 years, why should we change it, right, or do something different? But as soon as you go to the executive level, there's an understanding that they need to transform, and they understand the product and the transparency and the accountability. And these are things that they've been looking for a solution to. But they've never seen a product like this. So they won't be looking for it because they don't even know it exists, right? And therefore there's a piece where you've got to educate them on the philosophy and the mindset behind the product. But typically, even in the first meeting, they tend to understand what it's all about. But it's about getting FaceTime with very busy people who are not necessarily out there. They're not going to answer an email where you kind of cold call them, right? They're not even attending conferences necessarily, right? how do you get that face time with a managing director of a manufacturing company? This is the question that I'm hoping you guys will help me with. It's not an easy one, and it's not one that I have an answer with, right? It all comes down to business in the real world. And you can read all the textbooks, you can watch all the fancy YouTube videos with guys from Silicon Valley shouting at you, right? On how to make the $100 million proposal. It's different in the real world, right? It's a harder sell, it's harder to get that face time in reality.
Right, welcome Salim.
Thank you, Allon.
Okay, now I watched that. Now I'm going to ask you a very difficult question. Tell me what you do, but in one sentence.
We help bridge the gap for African manufacturing companies and help them get to world-class levels of operational efficiency.
So that
they can compete with the multinationals on a global stage in terms of unit cost, service delivery, quality.
And you do that how?
We do that by coming in, implementing our Lean manufacturing program, which is a continuous improvement program. We then, on top of that, layer a monitoring system, which is our own software, and it's called Live Factory and Skyview. And that provides the feedback loop to tell us where to focus, number one. And number two, how they can see their bottlenecks, create transparency, and then act upon those bottlenecks in almost real time.
So, when you said what you do, did you say South African business or South African smaller manufacturers?
So manufacturers wouldn't be too small. They'd probably be larger than 100 million rand revenue, where they would start competing against the bigger players and start to care about being world-class in their operations.
All right.
That's the market that we target. The multinationals tend to have their own continuous improvement programs in place, their own, let's say, in-house people and expertise, and they have their own worldwide systems.
Have you got any success stories where 100 million or similar to 100 million revenue manufacturing business post working with you had some phenomenal growth?
So we've got 4 companies that are successful, let's say customers who've gone through the entire program with us, where we've got multi-year programs going with them now. One of them is a very large manufacturer with 7 factories of its own, and they run all of our software, our continuous improvement. All the replenishment between their 7 warehouses and their 7 factories is with us. All the companies that have joined onto the program have had the success. Even at board level, it's been mentioned that, let's say, their unit costs are dropping, etc., and their productivities are improving.
Right, that's all we've got time for in this slot. We're going to come back. Don't worry, I've got lots more questions for Salim straight after this.
MTN SME Hub, link to business success.